Welcome to another episode of the Huge Podcast. The Huge Podcast, and I told you I was off.
To the show, the Huge Upside Show, with me, your host, Mikhail, and I'm joined by no other than the guy right here.
The out of shape bad boy Sarmento, man, it's good to be back. Looks like every episode we tend to do this kind of intros, and does it get old or for you? What do you think?
I don't know, man. I just need to get through it. Or is there any other way to
It,
do it?
it
I just
I
want it
think
done,
there's I
man.
think it's like we always had a standard formula, like you always say welcome, welcome, like every time.
Every time.
But doesn't that grow on you, or
It
what are your thoughts?
does.
It does.
It does. But like I just kind of feel like it needs to be done, or but it can be done like however you want to do it. Like, it doesn't have to be like the same old intro every time.
Oh, nice, nice. All right. So, to start, man, let's start, man. Let's not keep our guest waiting, man.
Of course.
Our guest is like one of the premier talents here in CDOC, man. Upcoming,
Local
uh,
scene.
local scene booming, and really good at the axe, playing the axe, if you know what I mean, man. Like shredding
Dude.
those like strings.
Strings.
And further ado, let's introduce him, man, to the one and only Mr. Francis
Francis
Cam.
Kang.
Welcome to the
Hey,
show.
hi.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no
Man,
problems.
thank you for making time, man. I know it's not
So,
easy, man.
Of
yeah, I
course.
know we
I mean, no,
yeah, go.
see, kami ni Nico, we talked about it last week. Well, earlier this week, and I was totally game. So,
Ah, thank you, bro.
Yes, well, we're glad to have you here, sir. Like like I talked to Francis. I met Francis in Comunidad sa Canto, man. Like I was there. We talked for a bit. It was about the UFC. I think it was about the UFC first. Like we talked
yeah,
about
yeah, yeah.
certain fighters. Then
See,
and
Colme
that was
versus Miocic. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It was a superficial talk. Like the standardized, like you have
Yeah.
to talk. Then afterwards, I really talked to him when there was a gig in Demetrios uptown.
Yeah.
That's when
They're
we
they're
like I
really
asked.
they're really cooking up something there, right? Like I think this is
I
the
know,
only
like
it's the only venue right now that's
no, no,
doing gigs, man.
it's Comunidad, that
Yeah.
whole system, that whole like community
Yeah.
they have right there. Like they really like anything about music and arts, and that support system with what Miguel and Chris are doing is really like good. Like
This is Kang.
yes,
Welcome you.
man.
Sorry,
All right.
guys. I'm naturally a very quiet guy. No.
Well, that's perfect, man. We need that kind of element on this show.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
So Francis, let's go straight to the point, man. Let's start about your music, because everyone knows you, like you're good in playing guitars, man. I've heard like praises from my different friends about
Yeah.
your music playing, and I've seen it live. I've been gracious to to see it live, and let's
Lucky
talk
you.
about that,
I've
man.
seen him do that.
There's videos of Francis online, man. You gotta see.
I've just recently listened to his songs on Spotify and Apple. Uh,
All right, because we hyped
it's
up.
really
Because
man,
so
it's
Wait,
Francis, we
see, Mikel. Is it Mikel? Michael.
yeah. Mike, you can call me whatever you want. Mike, you can call me Mike.
Mike, you're not from here, or you're not in CDO now, or
I'm not in CDO now, so I haven't been
okay.
there for like last 7 years. I just go home every now and then.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
All right.
but I'm so far removed from the music scene because I was never part of the music scene. I was just listening to you guys, and I saw your face, man, on one of the pictures you were with Broly and Chucky, and like, well, okay,
Oh, okay.
all
Yeah.
right, all right. The Godfathers have handed down something to this guy, and now is here. So yeah, like going back to what Koi said, talk about how you started, man, with music.
How I started. Well, I've been exposed to music from a very young age, man. No? So I guess when I was a kid, instead of listening to nursery rhymes, my dad put on jazz records, fusion records for me to listen to. So I kind of understood the language at an early age, but I didn't start playing until fourth year high school. So that was, I guess,
Really?
more than a little more than 10 years ago, 12, 11 years ago.
Damn. So I can just imagine
Uh,
like
that's mostly.
starting out. Yeah.
Hmm?
I can just imagine you
Oh, yeah.
starting out with those fingers and you have to form the calluses on your tips of your fingers, right? Mga kubal ba? When you were starting
Well, yeah,
out.
but I mean, it always starts with kind of driving force with about motivation. Our motivation was a little different. Okay, I didn't really just when I started it, I didn't want to be the best. You know, I just wanted to learn an instrument so I could make friends.
Really?
That's a
Like,
different mindset. That's a different approach. Why?
So that
What made you do that? What made you think that learning to play the guitar is
gonna gain your friends.
gain friends, man?
well, as I said, I'm a really quiet guy, so
Right.
I'm not very good sa kind of mga social situations.
You sure about that? You're here now.
Well, this is me trying.
Really? But I bet if you have a guitar right now, like you'd let the guitar do all the talking. You understand what I mean?
Well, context lang siguro sa conversation. I mean, if I just started playing from out of nowhere, like, it'd be weird.
Yeah.
So, yeah, high school. And back then, Mompoy uso, like bands like Kenny Edgar, Red Hot Chili Peppers just released Stadium Arcadium,
Yeah.
and it was a pretty big thing. So everybody at school, no, they were into those bands. So I just figured maybe just learn a couple songs.
So what was the first song you ever
Yeah.
practiced, man? What was the first song you ever played, like mastered? Let's see.
Well, I guess it's Californication by Red Hot Chili
Damn.
Peppers. It was a really big thing back then. Like,
Yeah, super.
Of
That
course.
was
so after learning that piece, Murag, I started to make some friends. So our plan was actually working.
Right.
So it wasn't even
Yes.
about the girls, just friends, people I can
Sure?
hang out with.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, but I mean,
Okay.
when you're a nerd, I think different imong priorities.
Wait,
That's interesting.
speaking of nerds, man. I'm myself is a huge nerd, man.
Me
nerds
too.
are like who's ruling the times right now, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
in
right
this
now.
age,
Diba?
I don't know any jocks are still alive anymore. Like everyone's a nerd by even in the movies.
Even the jocks are nerds. Like right now.
Yeah,
Like,
yes.
They're so
Yeah,
like dynamic now. Like they got specific skills. Like they stream. They also play some music. It's different now.
you know,
Oh.
there was
It's
a
cool now.
misconception on what jocks are before. Like jocks should be like a varsity,
Yeah.
or
Just
doesn't
picking up girls and all that stuff.
yeah, doesn't know and not good in academics and stuff. He's focused on sports and stuff. But now it's a different ball game. It's like everything turned around. It's now like the people with knowledge are now the one that considered cool right now.
Cool. Yeah, sir.
That's a good thing. Okay.
Yeah.
10 years ago, you're nobody if you didn't play basketball. Diba?
True.
So, I guess dito ba? And then, I think that kind of sparked the kind of competitive side na ako. Okay. I was getting better, but I knew na there were other people who were kind of better at guitar sa akong year level. Tapos it just progressed from there. I want to beat this guy. I want to be the best in my year level. Tapos be the
Yeah.
best in school.
And you were in high school,
Tapos when
right?
oh,
This is just high
yeah.
school. You
Damn, competitive.
Damn.
I never knew like the Francis is just like
he had this Mamba,
so
man.
competitive. Yeah, he
Like
had this like
this
kill list.
Kobe
Yeah,
Bryant, man. Like I want to go to the best, learn from the best. Student of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I, s- I still try to be competitive now, pero it's not like before no more. I'm just trying to keep it healthy.
Right. When you mean healthy, France, well, what does that look like? Be still being active in the scene, or what does that mean to you?
Hmm. Well, 5 or so years ago, uh, my goal was to be the best. I don't know, but you can't really be the best. There's always going to be someone better than you. So it's an endless kuwan ba?
and the
It's
cycle.
a it's an endless cycle, and you'll just end up getting disappointed, ra. Okay,
Right.
whatever you do, you're never going to be good enough, ba. You're never going to reach that expectation you put yourself. So over time, I realized na I can be a good player, or the best that I can become. Pero ang most important would be to find my own voice, sa akong instrument, to develop my own sound, to be original.
Yeah.
So
Nice to be a standout, like not to be like
yeah,
a copycat or like you sound like you know like when there are artists like you sound like Brandon Boyd or like
Yeah.
you
yeah,
sound
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
you have the same style as John Frusciante or like
Or
you have the
Yeah, yeah,
same
yeah.
Joe
like
Satriani.
yeah
Or,
is that what you're trying to sound like? No, Francis made his own sound.
yes.
How did you like learn your own sound? Like how did you even
Yeah.
find your own identity? Did it just come out or did you just feel it?
Uh, it took a while, right? I mean, everything that matters takes a while, magid. Pero finding my own sound, I'm not even sure if I've already found it now. But there is a sound that I identify myself with. So how I got there was it took a lot of experimentation. Wala. So I played a lot of different genres and tried mastering a bunch of techniques. And
Yeah.
oh, eventually, ang akong learning process, I think we changed siya over time. Instead of learning something perfectly, like when I'm learning a song or I'm learning a pattern, I nail it 100%. I used to do that. But now I only get maybe 50 or 60% of that.
Yeah.
And the remaining 30 or 40%, I do it on my own terms. So
Right.
I developed that habit. And eventually, uh, when I play something, people know that it sounds like this artist, but not quite. I don't know.
Like,
Nice. You put your own flavor and like
you like putting your
what you're
stamp.
yeah.
Man, Francis, I was listening to your songs last night and this morning. So, and I also watched your playlist on Spotify. So, like your influences or taste in music, man, varies, right? Like I can see you're listening to Hammock. You're listening to a lot of like ambient sounds, like, and especially now, like ambient sounds are a big thing. Do you see? Is that a part you also include in your brand of music or what?
Very much, right, very much. Pero actually, only recently lang siya.
Ah, right,
Because years ago, I really wanted to make ambient music, pero I just didn't have the gear.
right.
No?
But now you do.
Pero
Like I saw those pedals, man. Like shit, like grid
yeah, yeah, yeah.
of
So
damn.
when I eventually made the jump into the world of pedals and gear, wala, all the ideas nga that I've stocked up for over the years kay ma-execute na ako. So out of that, I started listening to more ambient bands, more post-rock bands. Tapos with that, I created Obsolete. It's a little project. It's a
Yeah,
three-track project
Nice.
na I made recently. So, kinda. And yeah, I'm done with that now.
I can see you did a ton of collabs with different artists also. Yeah. I
yes.
never knew you had a collab with Ace P till I like listened
Yeah.
to the song.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and that
Ace
was like
CANG.
whoa, the Ace Kang song,
It's can.
and the one with also with the unreleased plus minus
Ah, yeah,
plus
si
minus
Chuck.
equals
Oh
right track.
yeah, yeah. That
Yeah,
that
that
song was
was like
that song was
man,
dope.
that was we me and Mike were listening to it while we were talking to Chuck. He gave us a sneak peek, and when we listened to that track, like wow,
Blown
like
away, man.
yeah,
Shit.
man, it's like potential guy, like, and it was just a demo.
Yeah.
It's still a demo.
Really
It
put the
wasn't
mustard,
final
no?
yet. And that's like so clean
Yeah,
and like
ang funny thing with that track was fresh pa kayo ko sa akong ambient binge.
Oh,
I've been listening to post-rock I think, for most of 2020. Tapos si Chuck came from out of nowhere. Wait, collab ka. So naturally, ang first thing that came out of my mind was a post-rock track. So ni fit na siyang idea. And si Chuck pod, I sent him a demo. And kato nga demo, which was it was kind of a one take thing. You know, it's completely unplanned. I just improvised over it, and I gave it to Chuck. Chuck, it's a rough idea. Give me a week, and I'll work on it. Pero ambot ba? He stuck with it, ba?
interview we had with him. Like he's really good in like picking up like he
the
knows
great
what's good
the
for
great organizer, right? Like
he's
Yeah,
good in
yeah.
organizing and he's very good in organizing stuff. Like didn't he have a gig today? I mean like he had this live show, right? He remember the show that was putting up. I think it was
yeah,
today.
that was the day.
I th- yeah,
Let's
I
see. Let's
think
find
so.
out. His own
I have to check pa.
podcast.
Yeah, he's
Ah, di.
on he's planning to he's been working with different artists there, local or for us it's
Ah,
foreign because he's
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But think of it, man. Like we're talking about Chuck. Like he's playing this long game. He's still in the music scene, man. Although his name's not thrown around as much lately these days, but he's still there. Like for you,
Yeah, yeah.
Francis, like is that a direction you want to go, or like do you still see yourself doing this 20, 30, 40 years from now, man?
Mm, I'm not sure if I'm even gonna be around 30 years, right? So it's a little too far ahead.
Knock on wood.
pero, pero that would be fun. I mean, akong na-notice na it's different for guitar players.
Right.
Aside sa kanang general musician lang or kanang bandista like Chuck. Like Chuck, the guy who created Gasolina or kanang Nancy Spungen. It's different from guitar players nga na-notice na ako. Especially from outside Cagayan, like sa Luzon or sa Visayas. They end up becoming sessionists.
Right.
So,
Yes, eventually.
mas-cement ra gyapon ang ilang name sa local scene because it's their job now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd like that.
I can't
Just
sing,
with
like I can't really sing, man, but I would love to learn how to play the guitar. The dexterity of my fingers are not that good. You think it's too late for me? Like you started out fourth year high school, right? And I know a lot of kids started really young, and but they didn't really end up as good as they would. But you, like in the span of 10 years, like shit, I think you're the best in Cagayan de Oro City, man. But for me, like I'm in my 30s, right? My dexterity is not that good with my fingers, man. Do you think I can get good at this thing, playing the guitar, dude?
But of course, I mean, it's not always about the fast hands. You know, when I started, I wanted to be the fastest shredders at school, or in Cagayan, or pwede sa Philippines.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
eventually, it didn't matter na dahil. I mean,
Right.
the quality of the notes you play, it's incomparable. If you can play 5 beautiful sounding notes, no, you don't need to shred all over the neck na din. You don't need to be a fast player. Pero technique, you can learn technique. As long as you have, well, for me, as long as you have the ears for it. If you know what good technique sounds like,
Right.
you'll eventually develop good technique.
Yeah. Thank
So
you, man.
yeah, so now I'm getting curious, man. Like what is a good technique,
Yeah.
Francis, for people out there, for our listeners out there who
Listeners.
want to try to to venture into guitar playing? What is a good technique, or what is a good practice for you to get better in playing the guitar?
I guess it's different for everybody. Pero, well, ang process to get there, it's like any other skill. You have to put in the time.
Right.
Like when I started, you know how you're learning guitar, and then when you grip the neck, it just feels weird.
Yeah.
You can't position your fingers. It just doesn't feel right.
Especially in the classical guitar. Have you right
Mm.
the
Yeah.
neck is that wide, and it's different.
Oh, it's wide and flat. So if you're used to playing steel string, it's gonna be way different.
Yeah. I kind of
Um,
felt the electric guitar always sounds good. It makes you sound good.
yeah. Especially when you have pedals, right?
Oh shit, yeah.
So good technique. I guess one of the first things I look for when I'm looking for an advanced player is
Damn,
their
there's
grip.
levels to this. Shit.
Well, there's levels to everything.
Yeah.
To everything, man. Even in our game, man. Even like in
Yeah.
life, even in like everything. There's levels to everything.
There's
So go on,
levels.
Francis. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah. When I'm looking for the qualities of an advanced player, I look at their grip first, how they hold the neck.
All right. Hold on.
If you
All right, hold on, Francis. Let me get my guitar.
All right. So if I am to like grip this, like I don't know shit. I don't know nothing. So how should a guy, an advanced player, grip their guitar? Is what?
ang
What is a
thing
good
there
grip?
is I can't exactly tell you. Okay, it's
Right.
something you develop.
Is it
It's
a feel, man?
it's you can tell he's good. Okay, when he grips the neck, he's relaxed. Ang yang hand
Right.
is not forming a chord, or it's not preparing itself to do something. It's just relaxed.
It's just natural.
It's just hanging there. So
Right.
I can't really tell you how that looks like,
Yeah.
but I can say na the more you practice, the more you develop your technique, it'll show. And the really good players will be able to acknowledge that, or we'll see that, maybe acknowledge it. You're worth their time.
Oh,
Right.
nice.
Damn.
That's the first
Damn.
impression, man. Like it's like how you holding the neck, on how you hold the guitar. You already know that this guy knows what he's doing.
So Koi,
Yeah.
like when you go to a gig, man, just hold that neck properly, man. And then
Yeah. Is there a
probably
technique on like?
there's a
Is there a
50-50
technique?
already.
Let's do a role play here. Let's say, hey, bye. Can I get your guitar? What's the proper way in getting the guitar? Is it like, oh, bye, like, and like, how do you, you know that feeling, right? When someone gets you an
Yeah.
instrument, right? When you receive it, like, what's the right way?
Is there a right way?
But if you if you really think about doing something like that, you'll just come out as a douche. Pero if you insist on acting like a douche, so let's do it.
Okay, yeah, let's do
The
it.
coolest, douchiest way na lang.
Yeah.
You
So you
do
look cooler.
you do a guitar slide.
Oh,
Like,
like
you go, we're on. Yeah, it besides that, it still takes a bit of practice.
yeah. For is it for sound check or like once you get it, like
What's that
immediately
for?
you do a
Amod lang. It's a technique man po gyapon. So if
Right.
somebody's able to do it right, you can tell na this guy's been working on something.
Right.
Or how he plays a note or how he bends a string or he does vibrato. And you can really tell na this guy's been putting in the work. Okay, just the little things.
those details, man. That's what I'm telling you, Mike. Small details that you won't notice, but
Yeah.
it has a huge effect on some people.
And plus, it has to sound good, right? That's all that matters, right?
Kamomot, Francis Gapon. We met, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. And he wanted to learn guitar from me. Wanted to become a shred guy. So we had a couple sessions. Assess na ko yung playing. And very quickly, I found this guy doesn't have what it takes. Okay, he's not putting in the work.
Right.
Little did I know na si Mot could do something or could create stuff that I could never do. Ano ba? Like, ako, I'm pretty fluent sa mga blues rock, shreddy rock kind of stuff. No? For this guy, if you tell him to write an indie rock na song or a riff, something really catchy, he can do it from out of nowhere.
Right.
And he doesn't even know what he's doing.
Oh, nice. Is that what you call? Is that talent or like is it like naturally
Raw,
naturally
it's
comes
raw,
out
right?
of him? It's raw.
No, it's like na-develop lang niya yung own language. Because I asked him, and how do you write those indie rock riffs? You just pretend you don't know how to play guitar.
What? That's nice.
It's like
Because you tend not to overthink things, right?
okay. Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
Exactly.
It's a free flow.
And it comes out natural. Wow.
Like when somebody tells me to play a chord, let's say an F chord, there's at least 5 different ways to play an F chord all around the neck. Yeah, this guy, he's playing something. He doesn't know it's an F chord yet. It sounds so good. No, it's something I can't do right off the bat. I tend to overthink things. Like when I made that one, that Ambient EP,
Obsolete.
Obsolete. When I was making it, ang akong plan for myself was, Karon, this is going to be really dark. Akong next release, it's going to be a very light ambient collection. Yeah. When I released it, I didn't enjoy it anymore.
Right.
So it's different siya. I think different siya can feel it.
I think it's like that in making albums, right? It depends on there's like that's why there are albums that stand out. There's like albums that are sad, like there are albums that are like happy. Yeah, like artists. What I notice is from Urban Dub, man. Like example, it started with Urban Dub. It started off with heartbreaks, mostly about heartbreaks from
Yeah.
first album, second
To
album.
the
Third
one.
album is kind of accepting it and is getting angrier, but then on the fourth album, I realized that he's not anymore that angry. Like,
Yeah.
so
But
so in Obsolete, what was your mindset going through that album? Were you like
In a rough
emotionally like,
patch, yeah.
yeah, was it a
That
rough
was
patch
that
or?
was 2020, right? So were you going
Yeah,
through
yeah, yeah.
something? Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you can. I guess you can hear it in the music. So most of 2019 and then all of 2020, it's been pretty rough. Tapos once I released that track and I started making a new one, tapos started going into therapy, and started working through stuff.
Nice. Therapy.
Yeah,
Mike's good
I
at
made a
therapy.
demo.
With
Oh,
kids. It's different for
Mike's
adults, man.
yeah,
Like,
I not dude. It's the same. It's for people, man. Like,
I mean, yeah, like, but I'm not that good. But Francis, I just want to ask. I'm really curious that you guys brought this up. Like, is it like that too? Like a form of therapy? You said, diba? And is music an art that you need to do to internalize or process things? And then once you're done, like emotions, diba? You throw a fit, you become upset, and once maipagawas na mo, once you let it out, you forget about it, diba? Makes you feel better. And now you don't want to hear about it, just like this album, obsolete. Like, yeah, I'm done with that shit. Is that
yeah.
is music a process for you every time? Like, I need to do this because this is how I express my
express. Yeah,
emotions. Is it like
express.
art? It's a form of
Mm,
art for you.
not entirely. But I mean, it's something that just happens. I didn't plan for obsolete to be really dark, and I didn't plan for it to be really dark. And once I released obsolete, it was kind of a relief, pero it wasn't a solution either.
Really?
So for me, it's like it's like a reflection lang of what I've been going through.
What
So
what what
while
a fucking good reflection, man. You get to produce an EP.
Yes.
I wish it were
well,
that
yeah,
good.
but yeah, it's like that way. Like I'm not exactly over the stuff na I'm going through, but I see where I've been. Oh, through my music, and it's just a reminder when I don't want to go back there. I'm done with that. It's still there, pero well, it's just a reminder, man. It exists, and I can make something else.
Yes. I
So
like
it
that.
doesn't
It's a
really take
reminder.
the emotion out sa kong soul, or it doesn't really solve the issues. But it just reminds me that I went through that.
You
Uh,
went through that. More
Yes.
like journal, no? It's like a journal. Like, I'm writing my
Expression.
diary.
yeah, kinda journal siya.
So what's next for
You know,
Francis Kang, man?
uh, well, primarily it's just taking care of myself. I mean, I've been I put a halt or temporary halt sa akong music creation so I could focus on other stuff. But it's always going to be there. I recently finished one track, and
Ashes.
when you
Is that it?
Ashes was the first track that was obsolete. No,
Right.
this is post obsolete,
Okay.
and it's something that I've been talking to Nico about atong sa comunidad, making something new, and it's almost done. More than 90% through na siya. I
Nice.
can
Can't
send the
wait,
demo to
man.
you guys if you
All
want.
right.
Yeah,
All right.
man.
And
All right. Let us know, man, so we can do a review or.
Yeah, we do like track reviews here, man.
Yeah.
sige, sige.
We dissect your
I mean,
song and
when you hear it,
talk behind your back too.
I'm good with that. High school, I had no friends, di ba? Ako na nag-mention.
The guitar
So,
was your friend.
it's a given na I didn't have a girlfriend either. So I had all the time in the world. I put in 10 hours a day.
Wow.
Wow,
10
man.
hours.
Malcolm
Just
Maxwell, I
learning.
think. Yeah. 10,000 hour rule. Shit. You put in the work, man. Yeah.
Tapos, when you reach a certain level of mastery, na medyo dexterous na yung fingers, you don't need to put in that much work anymore.
recovery phase na,
muscle
like
memory naman
my finger needs to recover. Tinigo
so
lang.
dili na siya physical thing. It's more of developing your mind na lang. You don't need to play the guitar to develop in the mind.
It's nice, man. I think it applies to like not just in music, but in all aspects.
No.
Again, put in the work, guys. Put in the work.
That's what
So
we're doing,
that's
man.
that's what we're trying to do. Like, man, like we live in different circumstances, man. We have our own lives, and we
Yeah.
tend to. At least we make time, man, and we're very, very grateful to have Francis in our show, man. Like,
Yeah, me too. But
yeah,
this is actually the first podcast
yeah,
I've been in.
yes.
Really?
With.
So we were the first, man.
Nice.
We were the first.
Oh
We're
man, you
someone's
heard it here
first.
first. The new job side. We got Francis Ken.
Yeah, we got already got a girl first, and we got a boy first, man. Like, totally blessed here.
We
And
feel like some kind of fulfillment.
yeah. Anyway, man, it's interesting, man. Like, that's why I wanted Francis to be this in the show because, man, like, his insights and inputs are totally different when he started talking to him. Oh man, like,
Yeah.
fuck, we can learn a lot from this guy. We should like, get this from the
Absolutely.
show. Yeah,
I
it's
learned a
awesome
lot.
to
Like,
have him, man.
I wanna get better at the guitar, dude. Like, you know,
So yeah, put
No,
in
but
10 hours, man.
put in
Like
10 hours a
10
day. Oh
hours.
my god.
No, you actually don't. You actually don't need to do that. Like, dili mo yun.
What's
It's
an optimal like
Yeah.
practice range
Now,
for
at my
let's
age,
say,
like,
just be a not to be a best in the world, but something
yeah.
moderately good.
well, una you have to set realistic goals, right? So I think it applies to it applies to a bunch of other stuff, man. That we do every day. So if I'm a beginner at guitar and I pick out a song I want to learn, and well, I let it become a part of me. I watch the video, I watch the playthroughs, I observe how a player does it. Tapos, I read about ang techniques na use for the song. Okay, when you get the techniques down, by everybody else, every other player uses, they all use the same techniques, the same set of techniques. So if you get this technique down, you can play a bunch of other stuff with.
Yeah.
So that's what I do. Put in an hour or a couple hours every day with the intention after every session na naka-achieve kag small na goal. It doesn't have to be
Small gains.
like, a really big achievement. Like, I can play this chord without looking at the fretboard. Tomorrow, I might not be able to do that, but at least today, nagawa na ako. And tomorrow, it'll be easier.
All right, so
Yes.
Francis, man, like we ask all our guests this, before we end the show, we want to ask you, what is the huge upside for you? It can be any defined. What is your like definition of what huge upside is all about?
When I first heard, ang titles in yung podcast, Huge Upside, I thought about its opposite. Dili siguro huge, minute downside, huge downside, so it's kind of like it's I think I'm pretty sure a bunch of other people have said this book, but it's kind of like a positive force, pushing forward, pushing upward. It's a huge upside, or it's a silver lining kind of thing, That's what I think about it.
I like that. Like positive force pushing up. Yeah, like
Yes,
that's a first.
That's a first.
That's a
That's
first.
a first.
Yeah, that's a first.
Yeah, man.
I feel common kind of siya,
But
I visualize it.
there-
I haven't heard it. Like positive force pushing up.
because every other guest, they have their own definition. Every guest is unique, actually. All of them mention something in their own terms. There's no right or wrong answer. It's just we want to know what's the huge upside for you, so we can like understand and understand where this like inspiration that we coming from. So anyway, Francis, it's very good to have you in the show, man. Like we learned a lot from
Man,
you.
thank you for making
We
time.
hope to have you back soon and talk about
Mm-hmm.
like
Maybe
we hope
invite
to,
Francis to do a review on a song, man.
yeah, and like
Eh,
yeah, that would be awesome if your game, man. Like
Yeah, we can
we could
try.
do
We
a
can try.
yeah,
Yeah, I like this.
a review portion and
Love our videos? Please click the like button or hit subscribe. This is the huge upside.